some religious people just cannot wrap their minds around because they want everyone to be the exact same way. But it's like, even God gave us freedom of choice to either choose him or to not choose him. Who are you to tell me I have to be exactly this way? And honestly, this is one of the reasons why I believe people are more like a kind of like casting religions aside, because there's no room for individuality. There's no room for self. It's just follow these rules, follow this guidance, do this, do that. And if you happen to be inspired by pagan stuff like this man, and you just think they're cool, you don't think you're not about to go worship it. You just think like, oh my gosh, that's a really cool concept. I wonder how I can use that. And now they start casting stones at you. Oh, you're this, you're that. It's just like, we really need to stop this whole idea of a binary, this or that, that or that. The world is not a binary. The world has never been a binary. And I understand the human mind it's easier for us to classify things as you or me, they, us versus them, to just make it easier. Like, I'm the hero, you're the bad guy. But that's not life. Life is full of nuance. Hello and welcome to Kitchen Table Advice. My name is Paula and I am the host of this podcast. This podcast is a place where you can ask for any advice you want. It can be relationship, both platonic or romantic, career advice, or life advice. I wanted to create a space where people could ask questions without fear of rejection. I can't guarantee it'll be good advice, but I can guarantee there'll be no shame on my end. Your name will be anonymous and your identity will always be kept a secret. This is not professional advice, and I am not a licensed therapist or psychologist, and you are under no obligation to take this advice. Just think of this as advice you would get from a close friend on a kitchen table. So, let's begin. We are back. We are on Reddit, and the title of the first post of this episode is, I really like a guy, and I'm pretty sure he likes me too, but I'm not physically attracted to him. So, backstory. I've dated this guy briefly a few years ago, and then I broke it off because I just wasn't in the mood for anything serious. We have mutual friends, and I heard from them that he was kind of hurt at the time. I saw him recently at my friend's birthday, and we interacted a lot. My interest in him got rekindled, you could say. He's way more mature now, and he's pretty chivalrous and nice. I like this new energy. I think he still likes me because of the way he behaves around me. He didn't actively flirt with me, maybe because he wouldn't think I'd be into it since I broke it off last time. But he was always trying to get closer to me, laughed at my terrible jokes, was really caring and protective with me in the club, even though we hadn't spoken in literally years. Anyways, the only problem is that in these last years, he has gained a lot of weight. I still like his face and I find his overall demeanor attractive, but I just don't know if I'll be able to get past him being overweight. I don't want to rule out going after him because of superficial reasons, but I also don't want to pursue him if something happens, then just dump him again, because I realized I can't get past his physical appearance. The reason I'm speaking as if I don't know if I like it or not is because I've been with guys I deemed ugly before, but was somehow still attracted to them. Currently, I feel attracted to this guy because of the way he acted, but I've never been with an overweight person before, and I don't know if I'll still be attracted if I see him without clothes and stuff. I'm sorry if this comes off as shallow. I don't know if it's a good idea to reconnect and see if something happens, or if I should just drop the matter. Wow. Before anything, we'll be back with our advice after this break. We are back, and I like that she's honest with what she likes. I know a lot of us may think, oh, this is shallow. Why are you so focused on looks, blah, blah, blah. But looks are important. Looks are important. As much as we may not like it, especially as women, because we're always judged based on our appearance, on how we present ourselves into the world. And pretty privilege is a thing. I agree. So we don't like reciprocating that same energy because it seems kind of hypocritical that you're going to complain about this, but then, do the same thing. But looks are important. At the end of the day, do looks really matter? The answer is yes. It sucks, but it's yes. But she's already mentioned she has dated guys she would quote unquote herself say they're ugly, but she found them really attractive because of anything. It could be personality, just charm or energy, whatever. She found them attractive. But and this man is invoking that same feeling. So I do understand where the skepticism comes from. It's not unwarranted, especially if this is new terrain for you. You've never been with someone of a certain size, whether it's bigger or smaller. Completely understandable. Um, what I would say is you are 25. By the way, for context, she's 25 and the guy is 24. Give it a shot. I tell you guys this time and time again, time and time again. Your 20s are your years of exploration. Just since you already have that attraction to him, and the only thing that's making you skeptical about this particular person is the weight, give it a shot and just see where it goes. Just try to have fun, see where this takes you. Okay. And I know not people, most of us go into a relationship thinking this is going to be the one, this is going to be the guy. But not every relationship is like that. Other relationships are there to teach you a lesson. You don't know. Maybe you entering some type of relationship with this person, he'll make you see a new version of yourself, or a version that you like in men. I'm not saying give him a shot and just bypass any red flags or anything, but like give it a shot and still keep the weight in mind. I know it sounds bad, but give it a shot and still keep the weight in mind. If weight is an issue for you, you dating this guy will kind of reaffirm that okay, I cannot be with someone of this particular size either because of my lifestyle, what I do. I don't feel as though they're the right partner for me. But I always want to encourage you guys to at least try it once. Understand the skepticism. I completely understand, but you also want to give it a shot to just see. Even though from the outside for you, weight may be a big issue, it might be something you don't really think is that much of an issue, or you actually pursuing this relationship will confirm that, yes, weight is definitely an issue for me, and I am better off with someone of a certain size, not this size. That's fine. That's normal. Some people may call it shallow, but hey, it's you. I always want to urge you guys to try to understand you first, who you are. Understanding you will bring about that partner, the right fit, the right person for you. Even though some people may consider it shallow, it's a part of who you are. You have a certain lifestyle you want to live, and you want your partners to be able to fit that lifestyle. Understandable. There's nothing wrong with that. So if you're in a similar situation as this woman, I would say since there's already kind of a spark there's something there. You don't know what it is, right? Give it a shot, see where it goes, but still keep the things in the back of your mind. Don't completely dismiss it because you like this part. Like I try to tell you guys this. Just because you like A doesn't mean you're gonna like B. Okay? So don't completely dismiss what you don't like because at least he does this, at least he does that. No. Keep an open mind, evaluate both positives and negative, and see if this is the partner you want to be with. Unfortunately, your partner is not gonna have 100% of every single thing that you want, but I think a good 80 to 90 is good. Let's aim for an A or B. Okay. All right, so that's it for my advice on this, and we're going to move on to the second story of the episode. Okay, we're going to dive into the second story. I kind of saw this and I was really interested. I want to see where it goes. It's really brief. So here we go. I am a 25-year-old male and I am Christian, but I am inspired by pagan ideas. How do I do this without compromising my faith? That's a new one. So here we go. I am Christian and I like to write stories sometimes to get things off my chest and to encourage other people if I can. I'm worried that some of my inspirations may not be good for me. I guess I just mean I don't know if it's for someone who believes like me to draw inspiration from pagan sources. There's one album with a made up language on the album art called Mère de Monde that I used to like, I feel kind of I felt kind of inspired by the name. I also like the Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy VII seem to have been influenced by Kabbalah, by the Kabbalah, at least with some of the names. I like Bayonetta, oh, she's hot, as well, and Persona, which draws from different myth and even demons. I don't know if I should be inspired by things like this, but I think they're interesting. Wow. This was a very short and very brief story, and we'll be back with our very brief and very short break. Okay, we are back. We are back and we are back. And this is one of the stuff that makes people or like religious people. This is one of the stuff that makes religion so stifling. I'm just gonna come out and say it. It's like you cannot confine yourself to this box because these are quote unquote pagan ideas. I understand the reservation. You believe in this and you're Christian. By the way, I'm also Christian, so I know of the Christian faith, which is why I feel like I can kind of see where this is coming from. But in the Bible, in the Bible, it says everything was made by God. So these quote unquote pagan ideas, in a way, will also, I know it's, some people may be mad at this, all right, but this quote unquote pagan idea, if God created everything, as it says in the Bible, that He created everything, and everything is good under the sun, there's nothing new under the sun, all those stuff, like God has created everything. So doesn't that mean that these pagan ideas are also inspired by God? Just, that's kind of how I think of these stuff. And you can be inspired by something and still believe in something else. Like, two people may be inspired by the same thing, but we're all going to see differently. So the reason why I don't think this, if you're in a similar situation as this man, the reason why I think you should still let yourself be inspired by this is that just because you're inspired by these ideas, or like we can see aspect of a certain culture that we like, we're obviously not going to appropriate that because that's just completely wrong. We're not going to copy it and try to make it as our own. But we can still be inspired by the way they do stuff to kind of appreciate that part of that culture and state that this is from this. And the way I see inspiration is like this. Two people can look at an art piece and they're both inspired by it, but we're going to see different parts in that art piece that really connects to who you are. And the way you see the world is kind of based on a combination of life experience and also your faith. Your life experience, friends, environment, and faith. Those will all contribute to how you're seeing that art piece, for example. And your friend who's seen the same art piece, they obviously have a different life experience than you, or they may come from a different country, or they're just different. They're not you, obviously. They're going to see it in a different way. They might see it similarly as you, but that doesn't mean it's always going to be the case. Am I making sense? I think I'm making sense. But yeah, so I understand your reservation because I really do understand your reservation. And I think part of this is also who Who are you learning these Christian values from? And an example for me, it's like, I still regret doing this to this day, but I was so mad. I was in college and I really wanted to join this organization. It spoke to me. I felt called to do it. And then I told my friends, they were also Christian, about this wonderful organization I was going to join. And then they just said something about it like, oh, isn't that for basically non-Christian folks? And then I started feeling bad. And to this day, that's still one of those things that I'm like, dang, I really wanted to do this and I really wanted to try this thing. But because someone locked me in this box, I just felt like I couldn't be myself. And you don't want to live your life that way. I'm pretty sure God would not want you to live a life that's trapped. He came here to set us free. So why would he want you to be trapped in these binary ideas? But I mean, for some reason, for some people, I guess living in a binary works for them. But then for others, it doesn't work that same way. And even in the Bible, again, it says like, I think there's a passage, I'm paraphrasing, okay? Please don't go look at it quote for quote. But there's something about, I think it was related to meat or like animal with hooves, that if you eat it and you're fine because God has created it, everything is good. Everything that God has created is good. So basically, if you eat an animal with hoof, that's okay. But if your brother or your sister, they're not comfortable with that, then basically don't eat in front of them, type of thing. Small paraphrasing. You guys can tell me if I'm right or wrong and tell me what the right thing is. But yeah, so it's like, even in that same faith, how the amount of stuff we are comfortable with is different, because again, we were made differently. And this is a thing that some religious people just cannot wrap their minds around, because they want everyone to be the exact same way. But it's like, even God gave us freedom of choice to either choose him or to not choose him. Who are you to tell me I have to be exactly this way? And honestly, this is one of the reasons why I believe people are more like a kind of like casting religions aside, because there's no room for individuality. There's no room for self. It's just follow these rules, follow this guidance, do this, do that. And if you happen to be inspired by pagan stuff like this man, and you just think they're cool, you don't think you're not about to go worship it. You just think, like, oh my gosh, that's a really cool concept. I wonder how I can use that. And now they start casting stones at you. Oh, you're this, you're that. It's just like, we really need to stop this whole idea of a binary, this or that, that or that. The world is not a binary. The world has never been a binary. And I understand the human mind it's easier for us to classify things as you or me, they, us versus them, to just make it easier. Like, I'm the hero, you're the bad guy. But that's not life. Life is full of nuance. No one is good. No one is all good. No one is all bad. Like, these are just simple concepts that we know, but we just tend to forget because we get wrapped around these other stuff, when it's like, life is actually not all that complicated. It's pretty simple. People are nuanced. You're not going to look at someone and see all their good. There's some bad in them. You're not going to look at one thing and see all the good, there's some bad in them. And a good example of that is, in our new age, is the internet. As much as people may say, oh, the internet sucks, it's bad, it's the worst thing ever, it has also provided a lot of opportunities for people. It has also opened doors for people you would never know. So it's like, nothing in this world is all bad. Nothing is all good. So don't feel like because you're inspired by this thing, it immediately means you're something else. No, you're not. No, you're not. It just means you're inspired by that thing. And you can use that thing and then use something else and make it a unique thing that is true to you, true to your religion, true to your faith. And you can, basically what I'm saying is that you can definitely incorporate anything in your faith, and you don't have to compromise your faith for that. But unfortunately, there are definitely people who are going, if you're worried about what others think, then there are definitely people who are going to look at you sideways, because for them, they have to live in this linear line and never try to see what's on the outside. But if this is also why faith and this is why faith is a personal thing, because you know what you're comfortable with. You're true to your God. You are true, and you're open to them. They know you, you know who they are. So this is why faith is a really personal thing. You can't let other people's dictate how you should even practice. You can't let other people dictate how you should practice your faith. You know that at the end of the day, you pray to your God every day, or maybe once a week. It really depends on what you do. As long as your relationship is good with that entity, I don't really think it matters what you're inspired by, because again, in most religious books, they said God created everything. So if he created everything, that means he's also created pagan ideas that are not in your religion, quote unquote. That's how I see it. But let me know what you think. I really want to hear your opinion on this, because I actually think this is one of the reasons why a lot of people are running away from the church, because they don't have their voices heard. They have to follow all these rules, all these regulations, when at the end of the day, it just says trust in God. So why the heck do I have to follow all these stuff? But anyway, that's just me. That's my opinion. I would love to know yours in the comment section down below. And yeah, let me know what you think. Right, so that is it for this week. And we'll see y'all next Sunday. Please let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Leave us a like, comment. And if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, then please don't remember to leave us a review, and as well as rate us. Rate this episode, rate the show, rate everything. All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you next Sunday. Bye.